Hello, it's Saturday, the 23rd of August 2025, and I live in Tokoroa, New Zealand. Someone asked me, Matthew, how much RAM do I need for my desktop computer or laptop computer? If you're running Microsoft Windows 11, about 32 gig of memory would be fine for a laptop. For a desktop, 32 gigs of memory plus 16 gigs of dedicated video RAM or graphics RAM. So 16 gigs of graphics RAM is important and 32 gigs of system memory for Windows 11. For Microsoft Windows 10, it's going to be not supported anymore from the 14th of October. Just be aware of that. So Windows 10, 32 gigs of memory and 16 gigs of video graphics. Um, for older Windows and non supported like Microsoft Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, and Windows 8. Microsoft Windows XP and Vista 64-bit require 4 gigs of memory to run properly, and about 512 megabytes of video RAM is ample. Um, or for Windows Vista, you need about 4 gigs of video memory. Now, Microsoft Windows XP Professional 32-bit and Vista 32-bit requires 2 gigs of memory and 256 megabytes of video RAM. Microsoft Windows XP got stopped and supported from 2014 as long supported, but you still use it as long as you use Firefox web browser and antivirus support such as AVG. Microsoft Vista was the worst operating system out, so was Windows 8. Lots of crashes and reboots and all sorts. Windows 7 was cool, I really enjoyed it. Microsoft Windows 10 is cool. So, how much RAM, graphics RAM, do I require? Microsoft Windows XP 32-bit, 256 megabytes, 64-bit, 4 gigs of video memory is ample for Windows XP and Windows Vista. Um, I find Windows Vista requires more RAM, so yeah. And Windows 7, 8, 10, 11, Windows 7 32 gigs of memory and 12 gigs of video RAM would be ample. Microsoft Windows 8 and 10, 11. Windows 8 requires between 8 gigabyte to 64 gigs of memory and minimum of 8 gigs of video memory and 16 gigs of video memory, depending on what you're using it for. Now, really, Windows 95, Windows 3.1, 3.11, 95, 98, ME, NT, XP, Windows 2000, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10 no longer supported by Microsoft. Well, Windows 10 ends in October the 14th. So please, if you're using old computers such as those, make sure you have a Firefox web browser that's working and an antivirus program like AVG or Avast. Be aware that antivirus programs chew a lot of system memory. So if you're running Windows 98 or Windows ME 2000 or XP, make sure you've got 512 memory minimum and about for Windows 98, 16 megabytes of video RAM and a good sound card. And power supply wise, for a Windows 3.1 to Windows 2000, 350-watt power supply is all you need. Yeah, so that's a ball figure. If you like this video, YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. The power is yours. I'm going to do a song later on. Have a nice day. Ciao.